Hello guys, today Ashley and I are here with another exciting episode of Space Talk.
During this episode, we'll cover asteroids,
meteors,
and extinction events, only on Space Talk. So May, what do you have for our viewers today?
Well Ashley, I've been studying asteroids. I have. I like to consider myself an expert. I know a lot on the subject.
Like what?
Like the asteroid belt.
Oh my gosh. Can I take a guess?
Sure.
Is it a belt made out of asteroids?
No, Ashley. An asteroid belt is a vast ring between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter. Scientists believe this belt contains millions of asteroids.
Wait, but won't the asteroids crash into each other and constantly because they're so close to each other, like in the movies?
Well, in reality, our asteroid belt consists mostly empty space. On average, asteroids, they are millions of miles apart. If you ever stood on one, you might not even see one. And despite their huge amounts, they don't add up to much. If you took all the asteroids in the belt and put them together, they'll still be far smaller than our moon.
Doesn't sound that interesting to me.
Well, did you know the biggest asteroid is Vesta? It's the brightest asteroid in the sky and is occasionally visible from Earth with a naked eye. It was discovered by a space probe named Dawn. Vesta's rotation is once every 5 hours and 20 minutes and has about the length of Arizona. It accounts for 9% of the mass in the main asteroid belt, and it has a mantle, core, and crust.
Ooh, what's that little rock over there?
Oh, you mean 433 Eros? It's the second largest near-Earth asteroid discovered. It was the first asteroid orbited by an Earth probe in 2000.
Wait, you've been talking about this huge chunk of stuff, but what exactly is an asteroid?
I was getting to that, Ashley. It's a class of smaller bodies that orbit the sun out to Jupiter. Asteroids are leftovers from the formation of our solar system about 4.6 billion years ago. They can be made of dust, rock, ice, and metal, all compacted together. Also, there are 3 classes of asteroids near Earth. The first class are Aten asteroids. They have a semi-major axis of less than 1 astronomical unit. The second class are Apollo asteroids. Their orbits cross the Earth's orbits, but they spend most of their time outside of it. The third class are the Amor asteroids. 433 Euros is part of this group. They approach the orbit of Earth from beyond, but do not cross it. Most Amors cross the orbit of Mars. The 2 moons for Mars, Deimos and Phobos, may be Amor asteroids that were captured by the Mars gravity.
Thank you for that information, May, but it looks like it's time to talk about our next topic, meteors.
Let's start from the beginning. What are meteors, Ashley, and what's the difference between that with the meteors and meteorites?
I'm glad you asked, May. A meteorite is a small particle or fragment coming from comets, asteroids, or collisions with other planets that orbit the sun. However, a meteor is the flash of light that we see in the night sky when a small chunk of debris burns up as it passes through our atmosphere. But if that small chunk does survive past our atmosphere and impacts our surface, it's then called a meteorite. Do you know any meteorites that impacted our Earth?
I do, actually. A crater called the Bringer Meteor Crater was formed 49,000 years ago. It went 45 miles an hour and caused an explosion equal to 2.5 megatons of TNT. It has a circumference of 2.4 miles and is 550 feet deep. We have a short clip for our viewers today to visualize on how big this meteor actually is.
Wow, that was pretty cool.
Look what time it is.
What time is it?
It's time for Ashley's cram session. What are you covering today, Ashley?
Extinction events.
Extinction? You mean animals are going extinct? But with all the scientists and preserves and...
No, May, not are going to go extinct. They are extinct. These things happened a long time ago.
You mean dinosaurs?
You'd be surprised that the extinction of dinosaurs isn't considered one of the 5 major extinctions, but we'll cover that in just a moment. Just start the timer, please.
All right. Time starts now.
The first major extinction was during the end of Ordovician, 444 million years ago, where 86% of species was lost. This extinction wiped out the 2 to 3 centimeter filter-feeding colony builders called graptolite during the Ice Age. The second major extinction was during the late Devonian period, 375 million years ago. 75% of species was lost. Trilobites were 5 centimeters in length and the most diverse and abundant animal to survive the Cambrian explosion. They became extinct when plants emerged and released nutrients into the ocean. Algae grew and sucked out their oxygen. Trilobites suffocated on the ocean floor. Next, 96% of species was lost at the end of the Permian period, by far the worst extinction ever seen. It's known as the Great Dying and nearly ended life on Earth. An eruption near Siberia, where temperatures reached all-time highs, causing ocean acidification and poisonous hydrogen sulfide. Tabulate coral was lost. 80% of species was lost 200 million years ago at the end of the Triassic period. Teeth found in Scotland baffled paleontologists who thought they were merely bits of clams or sponges. However, the teeth actually belonged to jawless eel-like vertebrates named conodonts. No cause for this extinction has been found. Finally, during the end of Cretaceous, 66 million years ago, 76% of species was lost. The ammonites, delicate leafy and protected by shells, became extinct. While dinosaurs ruled the land, ammonites ruled the ocean. Yet volcanic activity and climate change contributed to their extinction.
And time.
Oh, that was hard.
It's all right, Ashley. We're almost done. After Ashley's meme.
Do you like it?
I'm concerned of what you find funny.
Yes. Well, that concludes this episode of Space Talk.
In this episode, we covered asteroids and meteors.
And I learned that the asteroid belt isn't an actual belt. It's a vast ring between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter.
Meteors are fragments departed from planets, asteroids, and comets.
And what you should have taken away from that cram session is that at the end of each period, a species goes extinct.
I hope you enjoyed this episode, Space Talk.
And join us next week to learn more about the solar system we live in. Only on Space Talk!